Welcome to Business on the Vine. I'm your host, Lady Jen Du Plessis, and in this dynamic series, we dive into the challenges, breakthroughs, and victories of entrepreneurs who have turned their passion into success. Welcome. Welcome back to Business on the Vine. I'm your host, Lady Jen Du Plessis. I am so delighted that you've joined us today, and I'm so delighted that you have joined us too. I'm Dr. Barrett Matthews. We met on another cruise.
Yes, we did.
It's so funny. I talk about so many people that I meet on cruises. I think that's why I go on cruises, right?
That's your life.
That's crazy. Yeah. So we met on the Podcasters Cruise, which this year is going to be called the New Media Cruise. I'm so excited about it. But, you know, immediately we hit it off.
We did. We did.
We hit it off. And you call yourself what to me?
I am your cruise husband.
You are my cruise husband. That's right. You were taking care of me on the cruise.
That's right. That's right.
That's right. I love that. I love that. Well, it's a pleasure to have you here.
Oh, it's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, of course. We're here in beautiful Bluemont, Virginia, at Bluemont Vineyard, and you can see how beautiful this place is. And by the way, this is my home. This is my home. We live down there. We live right down there. And, you know, we've been here for lots and lots of years, but I want to start with making a toast, right? And I know you don't drink, so I want to make sure your people know that this is a mocktail. Your people, your followers, right, know that this is a mocktail.
They usually drink, so it doesn't matter.
So, okay, so I cheers to you as we take a quick sip here, because Business on the Vine is all about hearing about business through the grapevine, right? Successes you've had, some lessons that are learned. You are known as the media boss, right? And you have, so tell us a little bit about all the media that you have, because I know you've got a TV show, you have a podcast, which I've been on, but you've got several. Tell us a little bit about that.
Well, what I focus on mainly, and it's funny because media boss was never really about me.
Right.
It was about the people who I serve, helping them to become the media boss. What I mean when I say that is that I want you to be able to control your media.
Got it.
As you know, a lot of business owners, they are hoping someone will call them to ask them to be on their podcast or TV show.
Speaking.
Right, ask them to be in their collaborative book or something. And I'm saying, stop waiting on people.
Go.
Right, create your own. You can, if you control it. I always use the example of someone like Oprah.
Yes.
I said, Oprah used to be a media personality. Now she's a media boss.
Oh, yeah.
Because she owns her media. She controls her media. So that's what I usually help people to do. Now, with me, yes, I have a podcast. I do a video as well. And I also have written books, and I do live stream events as well. And I know you've been on some of my stuff as well. But what I want to do is to get other people to start doing that for themselves. Do things like create documentaries about yourself, and learn, because there are a lot of people who want to know what to do, but they want to know why you're doing it.
Yeah.
So documentary can tell them that, give them that inside view. Things like helping them ghostwrite a book, because a lot of people want to do a book, but they don't know where to start.
Yeah.
Things like starting a Roku TV, not a show, but a channel.
Yeah.
Where you can
where you own it.
Exactly, where you own it, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I want to get to people, so I can help them to become the media boss for themselves.
Yeah. Why is that so important for a business owner? So someone's watching this and saying, hey, look, I'm just a business owner. I own a roofing company. I might be a dentist. Why is that so important for them?
Well, because every business owner should want to be seen.
Yeah. You think? I mean, I knew the answer to this.
Right.
Okay, this is a rhetorical question.
Right. Every business owner should want to be seen.
Yeah.
And the more eyes that are on you, or the more ears that hear you, the better. But that's a great question, though, because a lot of us, at least I feel, have been taught some of the wrong things. And when I say that, I mean that we've been taught a lot of times to drill down on one thing and just stick to that one thing. For instance, if you're a writer, people will say, well, just keep writing and that'll get you the people you need. But that's, in my opinion, it's kind of arrogant, because it's saying that everyone you serve likes to read.
Right.
We know that's not the case.
Yes.
Or if you do a podcast, everyone I serve listens to the podcast. We know that's not the case. I always feel that you should have a presence on various forms of media.
Yeah.
And but because you don't know what type of media they are paying attention to and to find you. So if you have a presence on various forms of media, you have a better chance of being seen by those people.
Yeah. Well, in this, for example, right, the Business on the Vine streaming TV show is on Roku and Prime and, you know, a whole bunch of different I can't think of all of them. Apple, right? We're on a lot of different resources, but we repurpose this into a podcast.
Brilliant.
Because that's a whole different group of people that are listening, you know, and I think that's, you know, super important. So I want to ask you about how you approach visibility, right? Is it more strategic? Because we hear this a lot with business owners. I just need exposure because exposure will give you more clients. Exposure. But what about the strategy behind exposure? We know a lot of people that have millions of followers and are broke.
Yeah, you don't want to be, as I call Facebook famous, where you just are on social media and people see you there, but what does it do for you?
Right.
And I use, so strategy is extremely important. Let's take podcasting, for instance. I teach people a lot of times to use video in your podcast as opposed to just audio.
Yeah.
I love audio. But a lot of people say, well, I want to do audio because my potential sponsors are looking for me to have a certain number of downloads in my audio podcast, which is good because a lot of sponsors do look for that. And I say to the sponsors, you're looking for the wrong thing. And here's why. If I have video podcasts, let's say it's on YouTube, I can see who actually subscribed to my YouTube channel. And I could reach out to them, send them a link, get them into my circle.
Yeah.
When someone downloads my podcast on audio, I have no idea who they are.
It's like on radio, right? There's some algorithm out there, you know, for listeners, but you don't know who
you don't know who they are. You don't know how to reach that particular person.
Yeah.
And so saying that I have 1 million downloads on my audio podcast, it sounds great. The sponsors like to know that, but they can't get in touch with them.
Yeah.
Now, if I say I have 100 subscribers on my YouTube channel and I have their information, that's more valuable because I know how to get in touch with them. Yeah. So and it's strategic. So not that you shouldn't have the audio, because you should, but you want to have the video as well, because now that strategy, you actually can get in touch with those people, and you can still get some people from the audio as long as your content and your call to action. is done properly, but it has to be done properly in order to reach those people.
Yeah. So strategy is really, really key. You know, it's funny when podcasting came out. I remember doing my first podcast. It was a monologue. It was, my first 20, I think, were monologue. It was audio only. I had my earphones in the closet in my bedroom because that was my sound.
That's what a lot of people do.
Right, that was what's happening. And you can actually hear this in the background, which is my dog trying to get into the room. But it was so successful because it was authentic. Yep. So let's talk about that for a second. You know, when we think about everybody wants to be a podcast host. I mean, I host 3, right? Everyone wants to be a podcast host. Everyone wants to be on podcasts. And okay, so now I've got some kind of strategy, you know, that I'm working on. But there also has to be some authenticity. So hold that thought because I want to have you answer that as we come back. Yeah. So stick around with us. We'll be right back with Dr. Barrett Matthews. Yay. All right. Well, we're back, and thank you so much for coming back. We are here with Dr. Barrett Matthews, a dear friend of mine. Absolutely love this man. And we're here at Business on the Vine at beautiful Bluemont Vineyard, and we're tasting the Ascent. And I think you have some kind of mocktail with something going on there. I don't even know what it is. Some
fruit in there.
Some fruit. And those are probably from the vineyard. Or from the farm down there, you know, part of the family. So we're just happy to have you back. You know, as we went to break, I asked you, okay, we have strategy. There's visibility and then there's strategy. Now let's talk about authenticity. Yes. What is the problem that we have with the authenticity?
Well, a lot of people think they need to be perfect when they do media. Well, the funny thing about it, and I've asked people this question. I said, you've heard the expression that nobody's perfect. They go, yeah. I said, do you believe that? They go, yeah. I said, so why are you trying to be something that nobody is? It doesn't make sense. They want to have every I dotted, every T crossed. No, the people that watch you or listen to you or read they want to know that you're human. You know why? Because they're human.
Yes.
And they want to be able to relate to you. If they cannot relate to you, they will find someone else who's relatable to them. And sometimes we look at people's podcasts or their video and we go, how in the world can this be something, because they've messed up here and they've messed up, but they're authentic. They're being themselves. And the people that like them being themselves are attracted to them. And that's what happens. Like when I do my podcast, I don't edit myself.
No, we rarely edit unless my whole table tips over, which happened once before.
I could probably keep that in. I did a podcast. I interviewed a lady one time, and she had a green screen, and you literally saw a man walk behind her.
This is like a ghost,
screen.
right?
And then her kid came up to her, and I said, you know what? We're keeping that.
Right.
We're keeping that because I want people to know that this is real and this stuff happens. So and we just kept.
Well, I find it interesting that post-pandemic, people are still apologizing for their dog barking or apologizing for the doorbell ringing, right? Yeah. Oh my gosh, I have a delivery, right? It's the doorman just came, or apologizing. They say, can you hear the lawnmower back there? Because right? And it's just the way that we are. It's about integration into our lives, right? And okay, but I want to ask you something very specific about authenticity, though. Sometimes you can have a podcast guest who's a little not fun, right? They're just kind of monotone, etc. And they are being their authentic self. What do you say to someone who says, I get you, I hear what you're saying, I need to be authentic, but how do I ramp up my presence as a business owner to attract business?
I think if that's the case, I've dealt with that. So what you want to do, first of all, if you're the host, you want to know who you're interviewing. Yeah. You want to talk to. Well, a lot of hosts don't do this, and I say do a pre-interview to know the personality of that person.
I learned my lesson.
Right.
Learned my lesson.
And see, then you can cater your interview style to that, where that you as the host have to be more of the energy. Right. Yeah. Now, if you're the person who's being interviewed and you know that your energy level isn't there, you can have them bring up subjects that are more passionate to you, and also talk louder. Talk louder, because when you talk louder, it comes across, even though you're not doing
that there's more energy.
Right, that there's more energy. And so you don't have to necessarily bring the energy, but talk louder. And what that'll do is it'll also bring up the energy of the host.
Wow, interesting.
By you doing that, so that by you talking louder, the host will talk, because they'll match you. Yeah. And they'll come up and their energy is up. So then it doesn't seem as if you're monotone. It doesn't seem as if
you've equaled their energy level. Yeah. Because I've caught myself doing that. I definitely have caught myself doing that. Yeah, in the past. And
it can happen. And that's a great question, because it happens more often than people think.
Right. And we don't realize it all the time.
No.
Okay, so let's shift a little bit into business. About the business of this. I know a lot of people. I just introduced a new offer, right? Okay. A new offer that is a certification for podcast guests. That they've gone through a certification process, and now a host says, wait a minute, are you certified or are you not certified? Because now you know that they're presenting in a really cool way. A lot of podcast guests want visibility, but they aren't making any money. So let's talk about the business of the business. Okay. Because we are here, business on the vine, right? We're going to hear through the grapevine. What are some ways that people can make money?
Like,
okay. Yes. Or making money from being a podcast host, other than pure exposure and visibility, because we know that happens down the road, but we're business owners. We want to make some money today.
Yeah. Well, one of the things you just mentioned it. Have an offer.
Yeah.
Have an offer. Whether you're the guest or the host, have an offer.
Yeah.
One of my my business coaches, Dr. Myron Golden, he's always talking about make more offers.
Yeah.
And one of the things that I've done events with him, I've done events with other people, and and a lot of people don't like this. Like when you have several people on a speaking platform, the host said, "Well, I'm the only one that can sell." Like, no, let everyone sell.
Yeah.
Because you want a buying environment. Yeah. So if you're the host of a podcast, have an offer. Have your guests have an offer. because the audience will come in knowing that is part of the system, that is part of how it is.
Right.
So it's a way to monetize, and of course, if you're the host and your guest has an offer, make sure there's an affiliate program,
right? Of course,
where you can, and as the guest, make sure it's your offer. You have an affiliate program as well. So that way you do. That's one thing. I mean, to me, that should be the primary thing. I've had so many people who want to start a podcast and they say, well, can I sell my product? I said, well, if you don't, who will?
Right. That's exactly it.
It's
That's
your
exactly.
show.
And conversely, podcast guests come on and they don't have anything to sell, or they have something to sell, but they don't have an affiliate link. And I'm going, wait a minute, I don't understand how that works, you know, how that's supposed to happen. And I think that this is truly the business of the business, right? Where we're talking about how do you create this, you know, to be a business. So we're going to go to break here. And as we go to break and we come back, I want to learn some lessons that you've learned over your career, and how you might want to do that different, how you might want to just offer to someone, hey, I did this. If I could do it all over again, I might suggest this, you know, to provide some counsel. So we will be right back after this break. Stay with us. Well, hey there. Welcome back. I'm Lady Jen Du Plessis, and I'm so excited that you're back here for Business on the Vine. I'm sitting here talking with Dr. Barrett, and I am so excited to hear this about some of your, you know, right before we went to break, I said, you got some experience. You know, one of the things that we want to talk about now is hearing from the grapevine. Right, hearing from the grapevine of your trials, tribulations, successes, etc. in business. So when you think back about when you started in business, and what were some of those feelings? Because I know a lot of people that are listening are saying, am I good enough to do this? Should I be an entrepreneur? Who am I to be an entrepreneur? Or maybe someone saying, what are you doing? Are you crazy? Right? Tell us a little bit about your feelings and what you were excited about or scared about, and what counsel you want to give to someone that maybe is thinking about this.
Well, first of all, I want to say that you are good enough. Whoever's questioning that, you are good enough. Don't even wonder about that. But you will have people that will say you're crazy. You will have people that are going to say you shouldn't do it. You will have people that will say, go get yourself a good, safe job with benefits so you can retire. They're going to do it. And I'm going to tell you this, you will probably fail a few times. And you're going to question yourself again. And again, and again. It happens. But you have to believe enough in what you want to let that stuff roll off your back. Because it's going to happen. You said something earlier about it's not the how, it's the why, right? So talk about the why. What is it? And we hear this all the time, you know, why? And it was, why schmy, you know, I don't know what that is. So where does someone find their why? It's one thing to say, I really like doing this and I think it's a passion, but something to get you up every single day. Well, that's a good question, because I wrote a book years ago called Why Didn't You Get It Done? And one of the books talks about passion. And I over the years I've changed my viewpoint on that. Because because in the book I wrote about, you know, work your passion. You should work your passion. But I realized later, your passion is not always what pays you. People are going to pay you for what you do well. You may do accounting well, but that may not be your passion. And so you can make money off of it, but your passion is something that you know you can do, you know, in your sleep. You can do because you just love doing it so much. So not everybody gets to work their passion, but you should do something you can do and have some enjoyment. You should do something you have to, and the best way to do that is to do something that serves other people, that makes them happy. Because just from what I've observed and from what I feel myself, there's no greater feeling than when you can do something and it makes someone else happy, pleases them about what you've done. That is better than anything that you can do for yourself. And if you can find something that you can do and do well at doing that, not only will they pay you, they'll pay you well for that. And then it may not even be your passion, but it's their passion. And if you can just make their passion come to fruition, it can really serve you for long term. As you're talking about this, I'm thinking about, you know, if you said accountant, you know, if you're doing accounting and you're like, I don't know if I want to do accounting, maybe you could teach other people to do accounting, right? Maybe you could teach
business owners how to do smaller versions of accounting so that when they come to an accountant, it's not the drudgery that you have as an accountant, right? There's all kinds of ways that you could tap into the passion and your skills. I think your skills, really tapping into skills are important.
Exactly. It's one of the things that, what we do is we will work something until it drives us nuts.
You're right.
And it doesn't have to do that, because especially with today with technology and AI, like you said, you could take your skill and turn it into something that's a course or automated and have it working while you're doing something else that you enjoy doing while it's working for you. It could be making you money while you sleep.
Yes, and I love that.
I do too.
I love that. That is what the core of my business is about, right? Is get out of that hustle and get into the harmony.
Oh gosh, we can do so many. I'm working with people right now. We're developing podcasts for them that are AI generated.
Yeah.
So they're not even doing
the podcast.
They're not even
I know. I remember you telling me about that. I want to learn about that too.
Okay, we got
and I'm sure there are people that want to learn about that as well. Okay, so that's a lesson learned. Like your passion may not pay bills, but make sure the skills pay the bills, right? Make sure those skills.
You need to put that out there. Make sure the skills pay the bills.
Make sure the skills that you have are paying the bills. So it may not be exactly what you do, but something attached to what you do, and I think that's good. What, thinking about the vine again, I'm always going to think about the vine where we want to plant some seeds.
Okay.
Right? So we're going to plant some seeds. Now these vines are now about 24 years old, and this is where they come into their prime, 24 to 35 years old.
Okay.
They're coming into their, so, we want to plant some seeds for people. So think about what are some seeds that you could plant for a business owner who is struggling in today's economy, right? When they're a commodity.
Yeah.
I am a coach. So is everybody else. I'm an accountant. So is everybody else. Let's plant some seeds.
Tap into AI.
Okay.
That's
a great.
A lot of people are scared of it. A lot of people are cautious about it, nervous about it. And don't get me wrong, if put into the wrong hands, it can be very dangerous.
Yeah.
But AI can't do harm to you. It's people who are using AI.
Yeah.
And here's the other thing. A lot of people are afraid of AI replacing them.
Yes.
AI won't replace you, but somebody who's using it can.
Yeah.
Someone who's using it can. I mean, for instance, if I don't use AI and Lady Jen does, she can replace me. Right. You can replace me. The AI didn't do it. You did.
Right.
So the fact of the matter that you're staying up on things it makes a difference.
Yeah.
And I always tell people that you have to stay up on things. You think about just what technology has done over the years. We were just talking a little while. I'm not going to go into the subject, but we mentioned Blockbuster.
Yes.
We mentioned Blockbuster.
Yeah. Yeah.
Netflix actually pitched to Blockbuster.
Yeah, and they said no. They said no.
They said, imagine what they could be had they tapped into it. And it's this technology. And so the thing is, don't be afraid to. And here's the thing: another seed for people. If you don't know how to do it, find someone who does.
Yeah.
Fill the gap. Fill the gap.
Dr. Greg Reed always says, hire your weaknesses and work your strengths.
I love that.
And it's always like that. And so rather than avoiding, it's interesting that you're talking about this because I do a master class called The Edge, right? Like we need to have the edge. And then you think about when something new comes out like AI, right?
Yeah.
There are people that will adopt it, take little steps to adopt it and look how much further they're ahead versus the people that don't adopt it and eventually have to. And the void, the gap that they have to learn, there's so much further behind.
And people don't see it come. I remember years ago, I went to Reagan National Airport one time, and I went to the Sky Cap to help check me in. He walked me right inside to the kiosk, and all I could think is, someone's about to lose their job.
Right.
because he walked me into his replacement.
And I know the man who invented that.
Do you really?
He's been on our show. He's a dear friend of mine. Yes, a dear friend of mine. He invented those kiosks. Yeah, he's an absolute. His name is Jeff Hoffman. I'll go ahead and say who it is.
That's cool.
Yeah, he's absolutely wonderful. But yeah, you're right. That's exactly what happens. Early adoption, early putting this into your team, even if you feel like you can't afford to bring someone into your team,
there
It's
are other
important,
resources
right?
to find out.
And one of the things that we found in ours, and then we'll, I want to make sure we have enough time for you. But one of the things that we found in ours is that yes, it replaced another job, but it allowed for someone to stay with me instead of me segmenting and saying, well, now I can't afford to hire all the people that I need.
Yeah.
In here. It's like, can you learn this with me, and we'll learn together.
And allow you to stay relevant.
Oh my gosh, it's just been super powerful. Super powerful.
I agree.
Absolutely love it. How do people get in touch with you?
Best way is you go to my website, which is
Okay.
www.mediabosspro.com, mediabosspro.com, or on LinkedIn. Just look me up, Dr. Barrett Matthews on LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And those are the best ways to get in touch with me. I'd love to have a conversation with some people and see how we can help them.
Do you have a favorite quote you'd like to leave us with?
Favorite quote? Gosh, you put me on the spot here. Yes, I always like this one. Adversity is inevitable, but stress is optional.
Ooh, I love that. Ooh, that is so good. That is so good.
Well, I'm glad you like
Thank you so much for being with us today. I
Thank
really
you, my dear.
appreciate
You know I
it. Hey,
love you.
cheers to you.
Cheers to you
Cheers
too.
to you and to beautiful Bluemont.
Yes.
Gorgeous out here. Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today. I want to say I appreciate you coming in, and go check out Dr. Barrett. We are so excited about what he's offering, and we will catch you on the next episode.
Thank you for joining us on Business on the Vine. If you found value in today's conversation and would like additional support, go to supportfromjen.com. Remember, the best ideas are always discovered on the Vine, so keep innovating, stay inspired, and continue to grow.